Right, so welcome to Cacao MON-days. I'm here with Alexandra. We met at Lunasa Festival earlier this year, and we both kind of in that space where we're traveling the country offering our magic. So I'm just going to hand over to Alexandra, and if you want to share a little about yourself and whatever's kind of come through to share with everyone listening.
Beautiful. Hey, thanks, Monique, for having me on board, and hey to your beautiful tribe out there. It's always a great pleasure to be able to open up my channel to share the wisdom that I've received. But before I do that, I might just tell you a little bit about myself. For those of you who haven't met me, I am your everyday human being who has made more than my fair share of mistakes. I've literally smashed my entire being into a million thousand pieces, as I'm sure many of you have done. Sorry, here comes my children with the dishes. They've just gone to go do the dishes. Come on in, boys. Oh, okay. All right. There we go. All right, and there's another beautiful part of my life you've just seen. Oh, my children. Okay, doing dishes. So where was I? Okay, that's all right, just sleep.
Okay, I think your audio's dropped out again.
Out of that, completely heal everything that I am, in order to really step into my truth and know why I'm here on the planet. So I can say from pure experience that I have this knowing of why we're here at a soul level. And through that knowing, I receive all of these beautiful teachings that I feel like I'm destined to teach. And whenever I have somebody say that they're either coming for a healing or a reading, what usually takes place is like maybe half an hour before or the whole day beforehand, I just get received all of these downloads of what's meant to come through. Looking through the door. I live in a caravan, by the way. This is our awning. Hi, Lola. You can come in. I'm just online. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let's catch my breath. So before I transmit this beautiful piece of wisdom to you that I've received for our class today, I ask that everyone would take a deep breath into their heart. And that's really important because you're only able to receive what you and your state of being is open to receiving. And what's coming through today is a very high frequency download of truth, of knowing. And I ask that you would open your heart to receive that. And a part of that process is letting go of what you're expecting, letting go of your judgments, what this should be, and just open yourself to become the observer of this moment. When you do that, you allow yourself to tune in with the piece of your character that is able to shift and morph and change. I'd like message. So that brings us to our topic for today. What has been coming up to the surface for me a lot lately is the concept of character. And this is something that I dived into right at the very beginning of my journey of learning to become a healer, is the idea of the different archetypes, the idea of the different parts of the personality, the idea that we are walking a story in this life, that we're spiritual beings here just experiencing one potential of what could be, and that potential is our story that we choose to create. And what I'm really experiencing in my life at the moment is people coming to me who seem to be stuck in a certain character, stuck in a certain loop of belief that continues to just come round and round again. They end up like stuck. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that aspect of your consciousness that creates the character. So when you're born into this world, you are this perfect infinite beam of light source code energy that is just pure awareness. And that's the truth that I wanted to bring into your heart just then. The truth of who you are is that just watching and waiting for the magic of this universe to take place. And then as you're born into this life, you're born into this beautiful family. And what they do is they imprint your consciousness or imprint that awareness with all of these beliefs around everything. Everything within our creation is formed through belief. whether it be this is a pen and this is a beautiful big crystal, that there is formed through our belief of that thing. And over time, our structured beliefs create our character of who we are to step out into this lifetime. When I was younger, I really struggled with this whole concept. I was given a name, I was given all of these expectations. My mother wanted me to be a nurse, she wanted me to do all of these things, and that really didn't resonate with me at all. So what I did is I just felt completely lost and did all the wrong things. So I'm sure most of you can relate to how you've been passed down these beliefs and then you've gone out and done your own thing with them. But what I really wanted to bring to the surface today is that what's been passed down to you, that ancestral trauma, that ancestral belief, and all of whatever it is that's been handed down to you and printed upon your consciousness can be shifted and can be changed through your pure awareness and through your focused intent. So at the moment, I'm working with many people who aren't even aware of the character that they're playing. It's almost like they're on complete autopilot mode, just expressing from this place, and I can see straight through it. I have to be very careful not to say it to them like that, because it will trigger the hell out of them and they will get really upset. So that's why I would rather teach it in a big class, in a big setting like this, so it's not personal. Everybody does it. Everybody is hiding behind a character that they become so lost within that they feel like they're stuck, they need to heal, they can't shift. All of the problems that we experience is because we're stuck in that realm, that part of us. So to be able to shift your character comes from that knowing that I am the creator. I am the creatress of everything that I am here now. And there's many ways that I've embodied that teaching, whereas my physical birth name is Annalise. I've just always hated it. People would say, "Hey, Annalise," and it's like it just rolls off the tongue all wrong. So what I did a few years ago is I was like, I don't want to be that character anymore. Annalise had so many problems, all of these things that I couldn't fix. So then I shifted my name and I became Alexandra, which is who I am today. And that was only maybe 2 years ago that I've done that. It's taken a while to embody that frequency, but over time, my character has become more like Alexandra and less like Annalise. And this is a very extreme version of that. And I always tell people, you don't have to go change your name, but it brings you back to that concept of who do I want to become? Do I really want to play this person who is suffering, who is struggling, who is unable to heal or find whatever it is that you're looking for? Or would I like to embody a new frequency of the truth of my being that is infinite in its potential, that could become whatever it is that you want to become? Okay, I'm just going to take a breath.
Some pretty powerful sharing there. So yeah, I think we all might need to take a little breath.
Sorry, it always comes out so fast. Okay. And then I wanted to also wind that in with this concept of quantum shifting. Not many people understand what that means. Like, I remember when I first began this journey, everyone was talking about we need to make quantum shifts. We need to, but what does that actually mean? To make a quantum shift in consciousness is from one state of being to the other instantaneously, just like that. But what we tend to do is we say, I'm this person now and I'm going to be this person soon, and I'm going to make all of these slow steps to find my way. Whereas it doesn't need to be that difficult. It really doesn't. It can be an instantaneous, I am balance. And that's why these statements that we've been taught as mantras are so powerful, because it doesn't come through the words. They can't be empty words. It comes through a knowing of the creator self. And that's why affirmations will work for some people and they won't work for others, because they don't understand the fundamental underlying magic behind that knowing. Yeah. So the idea of quantum shifts, and then if you were to, so I want you to expand that out a little bit further. So we started off with little old you, who do you want to become? Shifting into the quantum shift of, wow, I can become that now. And then I want you to expand even further to now look at our global family, to look at our planetary consciousness that's held on this planet, and understand that if we want to create a new earth, We must shift that earth within us, within our own being. And this is what everyone's kind of talking about, creating the new earth, and this big divide. And then, like, if you were just to take a step back and have a look at what's taking place in this world right now, and then think to yourself, this is only taking place because everybody believes in it. This is only taking place because everyone's giving their power to it. This is only taking place because this is the collective creation. The only way to shift the outer reality is for each individual to shift within themselves, to create that new version of themselves, to create that new version of belief, to create that new version of a reality. And then collectively, we shift the planet into a higher state of consciousness. So that was like another layer that I wanted to add to that. Okay, should I keep going?
Yep, continue.
Yeah.
This is getting juicy.
Oh, yeah, good, awesome. So now let's bring that back down to the self. Now we're going to suck all that juicy, beautiful wisdom back into the body. How can this change my life? How can this influence me, this knowledge? Why do I need to know this? Now, the key is so simple. Your belief creates your reality. Okay, that just sounds too simple. But if you dive deeply into that, into every tiny aspect of that, what you're going to find is that your beliefs construct and limit and constrain your experience. And I've got a few examples that I've written down here. So I'm working with people on a daily basis as a healer. And I tap into their energy and I work with them. I know you do too, Monique, so you might relate to this as well. If I get somebody who walks through the door and they just don't believe in energy, they're very skeptical, they are there just to try it, but truly within the core of their being, they don't believe it. And it's because they've been brought up in a life where it was just completely shielded. What takes place as a healer for me personally, when I step into their energy, because we're co-creating, I step into their creation, and all of a sudden I'm having my hands over their body, where usually there would be these big vortexes of energy, the chakras opening and closing. With these people, it feels like there's no energy there. And that's because their belief is so strong that I actually have to break through that first before I can begin to work with their energy. So this is how powerful this becomes. So if you were to take that even further, looking into our belief of how we're eating, right? I can't eat that chocolate, it's going to make me fat. Yeah, okay, if with that belief, it's definitely going to make you fat. Okay, that might have been a bad example, but it's just everything. Got to look at your belief around everything, your belief around money, right? Lots of people I meet have huge blocks around money, including myself, around whether money is good or bad, whether money is able to flow effortlessly in towards my life, or relationships is another big one for people, like people searching for love. What is it within you that's preventing that from flowing towards you? Okay, this is a great example. You could get somebody who's desperately looking for love and they're playing this character of the beautiful priestess going, please, Romeo, why won't you find me? When realizing that as the character, you've created that experience. Instead, a quantum shift. I am a Juliet and my husband shall arrive.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with that. Yeah, the whole like just looking for love and like where's my hero? Like I was playing out that damsel in distress and just like waiting to be saved, and I had to learn that the savior was within me. And then as soon as I took that power back and was like, I don't actually need anyone to save me, everything I ever wanted showed up. It was really crazy. But even coming back to the chocolate one, that is actually a really good example, because how many of these people that eat like Macca's or like just crap food all the time and stay like stick thin, like so small.
Smoked their whole life and just don't die till 90.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's the beliefs are so powerful, and I definitely resonate with all of it, because I've always said I've got high metabolism. It takes so long for me to put on weight. And I've always been thin, even when I wasn't being very healthy or nurturing to my body. I've never been overweight, and that's such a strong belief in my system. And then there are those people that are like, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, even when they're tiny. And then all of a sudden they're huge and they're like 3 times, 4 times what they were. And you've created that.
Manifested it, totally. But I think one of the reasons why this has come through for me is because in my book, that I'm writing a book at the moment, and I'm writing about the first dimension of creation, which is physical form, and it's Mother Gaia. And the beautiful thing about understanding Mother Gaia, of matter, of your body, is that she is unconditional love. She's the embodiment of unconditional love, and she will hold space for all that you are. So if you wish to create that beautiful fat version of yourself, she will expand and she will hold space for that creation without judgment, or like you're saying with you. Yeah. So if we could come to understand that our co-creation with our body, and that she will just hold space for that belief and manifest for you effortlessly, that can really help with that process of, I can shift my state of body just through the relationship that I have with her. Yeah. Wow.
It's really powerful. Yeah, I'm definitely resonating with all of this because I had no idea what we were going to be talking about coming into this call, but it feels really right. Even just taking those few breaths with my eyes closed, I could feel my whole energy just expanding and my mind just expanding to receive the wisdom. So it's really amazing.
Beautiful. So one last thing that I want to end on. Right, so I've got two last notes here. So one key that if you don't walk away with anything from this, one key teaching is life is about constantly reinventing yourself. And it doesn't matter. There's no judgment as to what you become, because Mother holds you unconditionally. So you want to constantly, that's growth. When we grow, we're changing and we're morphing and we're expanding. And if we don't grow, what happens is our energy becomes stagnant and our light becomes dim, and then all of a sudden we're surrounded by our own darkness and our own fears. When we're pushing forward and when we're expanding and when we're experiencing new horizons, we're actually expanding our consciousness outwards, and that allows our light to shine more and more brightly, which allows us to gain like this wisdom that me and you are tuning into right now. That's where that's found, is beyond the limitations of your own self, of your own fear. So all of the gifts of being able to open yourself further to your truth of a creator. So there's another layer to this as well, is that when you're bringing this through, you're bringing through this high frequency source, life force energy. You're going to be holding this frequency within your being, and the people that come to meet you will just, there's something different about you. You're not enslaved in the matrix, and you'll just, they don't see it with their physical eyes, but there's a glow about these certain people that you will attract. Like I'm attracting all these people that are wanting to learn from me and grow from me, because I have a knowing of who I am at that deep spiritual level, which allows my light to shine through. So that there is looking at your gift for humanity, looking at your gift of service. This is how it's done. It's not going out and bending over backwards for everyone else. It's around knowing your true power as a creator, stepping into that light and your authority, understanding that you can shift all things at all times here and now, and then allowing other people to resonate to that. And then once enough of us are singing along that vibration, the whole world will change. Also, I just wanted to quickly share how this is playing out for me at the moment. So with my book that I'm writing, for a long, long time, I was playing this story of Alexandra trying to write this book, and it's so hard. It's like the hardest thing I've ever bloody done, and I can't do it, and it's just not leading anywhere. And then I actually had a fellow teacher come to me and give me the same message. You're creating that. And that's all I needed to hear. And now, right, I've shifted this into Alexandra, who is writing a book, and it's coming through really effortlessly. And every time I open up my book, I've got the title up there, and I put a little, like, I don't know, like an affirmation or a quote. And at the moment it says, I can do it. But these are just examples of how you can shift your character from something you couldn't do into something, yeah, actually I can do that. And then have little reminders everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, the power of affirmation. And I really resonate as well when you mentioned about how it doesn't work for some people and it does for others. And for ages, I was doing my affirmations and reading all about the law of attraction, and it just wasn't working. And I was like, this is broken. Maybe it's just like I'm doing something wrong. And I kept playing that over like it's me. I'm doing something wrong. It just isn't happening. And I would just get so defeated about it. And then when I stopped getting so, like, it was a long journey, but there was a point where I let go of the attachments of and looking deeper into why I wanted certain things. So when it was
Mm.
like I wanted $1 million, say, and I was like, well, do I need $1 million? Like, why do I actually want this $1 million? And then when I looked into it, and it was like a coming from a place of unworthiness, and I didn't feel good enough in just being me, that I was like, if I have this, I'm going to be able to show people that I'm good enough. People are going to want to be around me. And it was coming from that place. So when I actually went into that and did the healing and started to embody worthiness, and I was like, I'm worthy, I deserve love, I am love, and just started going in that place, all of a sudden the abundance financially and otherwise were just dropping in with like natural flow. And then it was really weird this year that I opened my eyes and I'm like, I wanted a baby for ages. I've got a baby. I wanted to be engaged for so long. Like I was really focusing on the like having my fiance, and I've got that. And then I wanted to have a life purpose, and I finally feel like I've dropped into that, and I've created my own business, and I'm traveling, and it's like, how am I don't even like, I'm just really dumbfounded of like, how did this all come to be? And I think a big thing that really happened was I tuned into why I actually wanted these things, realized it was
Mm.
coming from unworthiness, worked on
Mm.
that, and then everything flew. And I'm just living this surreal life. And if it's still challenging, it doesn't mean that it's just easy, but it's really hard sometimes. And sometimes I'm like, how am I going to go on? But
Mm.
I actually am enjoying life for the first time because I let go of the attachments and I took the pressure off myself, and I
Mm.
decided who I wanted to be, and I wanted to be worthy. I wanted to feel good enough within myself for myself, and I stopped wanting to be good enough for someone else. I wanted to be it for me. And so that was a big shift for me in this. I think that really connects into what we're chatting about.
Yeah, oh, it totally does. It's like one character, why me? And to the other character, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, and even in my body, I'm feeling like getting really warm and really tingly, and I can feel the power in that shift of like going from victim to know, like seeing my power and just knowing that I am that creator. And I do believe in the co-creation. I believe that there are certain things that
Oh,
come to
right. Yeah.
be and happen, so that we can grow. Because sometimes people are like, well, I didn't create the car accident. I didn't like I and it's not
Yeah.
about blaming and saying that it's your fault that these are happening. Sometimes things are actually aligned in your experience and come through so that you can grow, evolve, and expand. Because sometimes we're not going to really go and say, oh, I'm going to have this horrible thing happen to me and then go through this huge growth. Sometimes we just want the fluffy and the good. And sometimes
Yeah.
it's the most challenging things that push us to grow the most. And so as challenging as it can be for the things that have shown up in my experience, I'm so grateful because it's pushed me to that edge and out of my comfort zone. Because if it was all just la-di-da and happy and all that, you would just get so comfortable and you
Yeah.
wouldn't actually push yourself to grow and expand.
Yeah, totally. I don't think that like our spirit allows us to just be happy in one place. Like you get people who are millionaires, they're not happy. You get people, your spirit is always going to push you to expand to what's next. And that's something that I really love. Like
Mm.
no matter what you have, you're always going to want to experience more,
Yeah.
which is, yeah. And I think that actually comes from a deep soul level of wanting that expansion.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really feel like we're here to experience more, like the whole array of human emotion, not just the good and the pleasure, but also having those polarities and feeling the different things that we can experience and finding the beauty within it all and integrating it all, integrating the shadows and the light and being with both. Because how do you know one without the other, really?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you totally 100%. That's a good also note that I wanted to make around how we've got these different characters is that you could have a character that's fully enlightened, and what we're doing is we're constantly channeling from different parts of ourselves. So when you're feeling upset or unhappy, you're actually, there's a fragment of your consciousness that's holding a character that you're then embodying, and that frequency is being channeled through you. So it's really important to become aware of what's coming out of you, and that's where the healing begins, is because we can't heal it until we see it. Once we see it, we shine our light of awareness upon it, and then that darkness shifts into a lesson to be learned, and then that frequency will shift. But I've experienced some very powerful energies recently where, like, say if you're with a friend and you trigger them, boom, you'll feel this if you're really sensitive to it, you'll feel the whole energy in the room shift. And it's because there's a shadow piece or a hurt or a pain or a suffering that's come through and is now being expressed. So that's just a little bit of the backstory behind healing, why this is so important, that whole concept of the character, to actually find healing within the self as well, to once again to heal that shadow that you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, how magical. Yeah, I was yeah, I feel like that's really like feels to completion, is how I'm feeling. And I would say, is there kind of a practice that's pretty much, I guess, working with the affirmations, and I feel like a lot of different things that we touched on offers people opportunities to just kind of go within and self-inquire and explore and use the power of affirmation and quantum shifting.
Yep.
But anything else that you feel to share?
I reckon one little exercise that people could play with is, if I could be anyone that I could be, who would I become? And then go somewhere where no one knows you and become that person, whether it's like at the supermarket, and just play with this concept that you can actually be Alexandra, or you can actually be, somebody else. You don't have to be who you are. And just, I want people to go out and have fun with that, whatever that means to you. And yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you for listening, and I hope to connect again soon.
Thank you. Yeah, I really feel that word play. It keeps coming up in my reality of like, we take everything so seriously. Let's just play with it and try different suits on and just have fun. It doesn't always have to be so hard and challenging and scary, or just, stiff and stagnant. Like, let's just flow and play and see what comes up.
Exactly.
Try different hats on, see which hat you like.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. And I'll pop your links in the bio, so if anyone wants to connect with you, I know that you move around the country, so yeah, if they can kind of like go onto your Facebook, and I believe it's Facebook that's your main kind of way of contact and seeing where you're at.
Yeah, Facebook, if you want to contact me on there, I'm always available to answer any questions and lots of healing experiences.
Cool.
So connect with me. I look forward to it.
All right, well, I'll link you in the about, and we'll definitely have you back on the show, because I find like conversations with you whenever we catch up is just like it's just so fun.
I feel like that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
To blow everyone's minds up.
Yeah. Why not? All right, well, thank you, and I hope everyone enjoyed the show. And if you want to just leave any comments below, and subscribe so you stay in touch and stay in the loop when new shows are coming out. But thank you.
Awesome. Okay, beautiful. Bye.